What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Drew Hoover, and today we'll be discussing the NFC Championship game. The San Francisco 49ers will be heading to Los Angeles to face their rivals, the Rams, for the third time this season. Can they sweep them and beat them for the third time? If you haven't subscribed yet, please click that subscribe button. And Anthony Garcia is your man if you have any graphic design needs. www.anthonygarciadesign.com. And man, we would not be here without Matthew Stafford. He has been clutch the last two games against the Arizona Cardinals, against Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But the 49ers would not be here without him as well. We know about his pick at the end of the season to send the San Francisco 49ers to the playoffs, in which case they would not have upset the Dallas Cowboys or my Green Bay Packers. When you look at both these teams, we know about how explosive that offense is. Either they can run it with Sony Michel, or Matthew Stafford can throw it to his many weapons like Cooper Kupp or Odell Beckham. And that defense has done a lot his part too, especially when it comes to getting to the quarterback, with guys like Aaron Donald and Von Miller and Leonard Floyd. But the 49ers can say the same thing. They got to quarterbacks like Dak Prescott and Aaron Rodgers, with guys like Nick Bosa and Eric Armstead. And honestly, that might be the key to the game right there. Whichever pass rush can cause the most pressure can win the game. Because like I said, you don't want to have Matthew Stafford find a way to get in his hands of Cooper Kupp or Odell Beckham, or have Jimmy Garoppolo find a way to give it to Deebo Samuel or George Kittle. And honestly, there's a lot of history when it comes to divisional rivals facing in the playoffs. The first thing that comes to my mind is the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers, particularly the 2008 AFC Championship game. The Steelers had swept the Ravens that season, but they also faced them for the third time in the AFC Championship game. The Steelers would win for the third time and end up clinching their ticket to Super Bowl 43. Now, it could be the opposite. I keep referring to Tom Brady and the Bucs from last year. Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints swept them in the regular season. But when they faced them for the third time in the divisional round, obviously the Buccaneers made those adjustments, and the Buccaneers would defeat the Saints on their way to a Super Bowl victory. So which way is it going to be? Are the 49ers going to sweep the Rams and go back to the Super Bowl since the Harbaugh Bowl between Jim and John? Or are the Rams going to go to the Super Bowl under first-year quarterback Matthew Stafford? I am not a conspiracy nut, but there might be a way for, it to be rigged towards the Rams' favor. Why do I say rigged? Well, there's been a few games throughout NFL history that have been rigged, or at least supposedly rigged. For example, Super Bowl 40 with the Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks that was hosted in Detroit, and apparently Jerome Bettis lived and raised in Detroit. There's also speculations of the Patriots-Seattle Super Bowl that was altered because of the video game Madden. I've heard of it. It's actually pretty interesting. Not to mention last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers ended up going to the Super Bowl, like I mentioned, which ironically, they end up hosting. It was at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. This year, the Super Bowl will be hosted in SoFi Stadium, where the Rams and Chargers play. So, I'm not going to say that's going to be the deciding factor right here, but I think it's going to be a coincidence that there's going to be two teams in back-to-back years that end up going to the Super Bowl and hosting it at the same time. So, I believe the Los Angeles Rams will defeat the San Francisco 49ers this time, and it'll be a score of 27-24. I know that sounds ironic since that's the way it ended last time, but heck, I'm just predicting the score. Anyway, that is my prediction for the NFC Championship game. Stay tuned for my AFC Championship game. If the Rams do win, do they face the Kansas City Chiefs? We've been waiting for that matchup since that Monday Night Football game many years ago. Or do they end up facing the Cincinnati Bengals? The Bengals, who haven't been to a Super Bowl since Joe Montana defeated them all the way back in 1989. I'm your host, Drew Hoover, and have a good day, everybody.